we got quite a bit of business today for the membership general meeting. I'd like to invite Kim Gucci up to do a welcome, and then we'll have the Castan singers sing.
Hari, good morning, everybody. Bandada Hunzu. I wanted to start by acknowledging what is happening over in the northeast of us, in the communities over there of Tumbler Ridge. And I just wanted to have a minute of silence. Thank you. It's really important when we gather as a community and we're really fortunate to have each other and to have a nation that takes care of us in the way that our leadership does, our chief and council and our executive. And I know that when things like this happen in our country, even beyond, it affects all of us because we know that it could happen anywhere at any time. So thank you for helping share this space and the respect for all of the families in Tumbler Ridge and the communities. And here we are today gathering as a nation to talk about business. And it's a thing that must be done, I think, according to the books and according to policies and such. So I'm super glad to see so many people here. And I wanted to also mention that we're growing as a nation. I think we all know that. We have more than doubled in the last, I don't even know, 10 years or so. And so many faces that we don't know each other yet. And so I'm looking forward to that as well. So I'm here as an elder in training. So when I'm called upon to do a traditional welcome as an elder of Claytley Tene, I take that very seriously. There was a time where I shied away from it, but I'm not doing that anymore. And so I'm really grateful to be in this space. And so I want to acknowledge the incredible work that has been done here within our nation and where we are as a nation, because we are very strong and we're moving forward in a really good way. So I want to welcome everybody to this. I can't say welcome to my traditional territory because we're all here in the traditional territory, so that feels a little redundant, but I do want to acknowledge that we're all gathered here today on this beautiful Valentine's Day, so we're all each other's sweethearts today. Do you guys know this? Grab a rose and celebrate the love that is represented in Valentine's Day. So welcome everybody. Masicho te base Nachalia.
Thank you very much, Kim. If the Castan drummers can please come up.
Hari, Subanda, Hassan Atonle Atsinto, so we're the Hassan drummers, as you know. We welcome anyone into our group. We haven't been practicing much lately. We've been so busy, but once we open up the practicing, we'll share those dates and times and locations so that any of you or your kids or your family members can join us. We are going to share one song this morning to keep us closer to being on time. It's going to be called Greeting the Day. Greeting the Day came from Saling Lake Adamne. He is also known as Vernon Williams Jr. from Yankin Point on Haida Gwaii, and this song was gifted to us during the Canada Winter Games in 2015. Sorry, I forgot the protocol of explaining what the song was meaning behind it. I introduced where it came from, but the song, when Salinglay was walking through the forest, he moved a branch and uncovered a grave site, and the song came to him at that time from Creator. He attributes it to his great-great-grandfather, Dr. Gaudet, who was a medicine man who traveled from the Yankin Point, or the North point of Alaska all the way down to the southern coast of California, healing people. So that's the story behind that song, and you're free to sing it and share it in any way you want. You do not have to sing it how we sing it. So that's an open song. Masi, have a great, wonderful day.
Thank you very much. We now have Chief and Council. Each of the council members are going to be giving an update, is from what I understand. So we'll invite you. Will Chief get to go first?
Howdy. Good morning, everyone. Happy Valentine's Day. And yes, the terrible news of what happened in Tumbler Ridge, our hearts go out to the community and what they're going through. So I want to thank Barry for willing to be here to MC. And I want to thank Kim for doing an amazing welcome. Thank you. And of course, the cast and drummers who always start us off in the right way. But I want to acknowledge Veronica Seymour, one of our eldest members who opened us up for breakfast this morning. So there's so much negativity going on in the world. We like to focus on the positives. Here, we want to hold each other up. And there's so much negativity and it just breaks your heart. But we're here today. So I'm going to give you guys a heads up, give you times to think. And anytime you want to stand up and say something positive, you're more than welcome to. It's a positive day. We want to do everything positive, hold each other up. So I'll be saying positives all the way through this. So the first positive is that we're here today. We're here to celebrate as a community. Some can't join us, but they're online. So hello. So coming off our last membership meeting in November, we've committed to bringing information back to the memberships in the larger settings more often. And we've heard it again at the AGM last summer. We know the value of coming together is in a good way to share successes, discuss our shared future, and highlight the opportunities available for our members. So another positive, today is Clarence John and Brenda, Clarence and Brenda Wilson John. Their wedding anniversary. They got married in 2015 during the Winter Games. So happy anniversary to them. Ooh, another positive. Murphy Gucci's birthday today. He's 39. Today will consist on many updates from our programs that have been created and delivered by both the nation and our members. We will provide a financial update of the most recent time period. And here's another positive. All our staff is here. They're an amazing group of people. They're all here. I encourage everyone to go talk to them. And another positive. Council, along with administration, working with council, we're going to start doing locations. So councils are going to start traveling to do updates. We're still trying to work out the logistics of it and how it would work, but to bring our community closer together and make out-of-towners feel at home, like that we're coming to see them. So we will let you know as soon as we figure that out. And yes, there are members in New Mexico and members in Hawaii, but no, council will not be going there to give them an update. So that's another positive. I think this is what the community wants, has been asked for a long time. Before we go any further, I do want to acknowledge the members that we have lost since the AGM in August. Sherry Thompson, Quentin John, Chad Baker, and William Smith. While we mourn their memories, we must also celebrate the members we have welcomed during the same time period, as we are stronger together. So as of today, we have 941 members, 26 new status cards members since August, and there's a whole list waiting, so we'll have a lot more once IS catches up with their work. So briefly, I'd like to provide you a quick update on what I've been focusing on since the AGM. Our new economic development agency, Tano T'enneh Enterprise, will provide an update on new opportunities created. And as partners, Clayton T'enneh and Tano T'enneh jointly purchased 8.64% of the First Nations Bank of Canada. And while this announcement was made immediately after the AGM, it is important that we continue to work on expanding opportunities through this ownership position that we have taken. We continue to advance on reserve housing. Oh, this is another positive. We have 7 new homes on reserves. The families are moving in or just moving in. And I think we've got 12 more coming by October. But as we know with construction, so we'll probably say move-in days probably around November or end of November. These new homes are opportunities for more members to come home and live within the community with friends and family. So our relationship with other First Nation communities in the region continue to expand, which enhance our opportunities and the pressure we apply under colonial government on support. So Clayton T'enneh has working with a band, we call it Cly Ventures. It's with Clayton T'enneh, Stilatin, Notley, and Sycus. So we had this going through Coastal GasLink when it was built, and it major opportunities for our members to participate in the construction of that. So we've been actively pursuing with both Canada and BC on opportunities our people deserve, including building a bridge. We have met with Canada and discovered new opportunities to present to the bridge and develop new pathways to decision makers. We have brought elected leaders from BC to our lands and shown them the immense challenges that have to connecting the north and south side. So why this bridge is important, Canfor is unsure. We don't know what's going to happen with Canfor. Canfor may shut down, and if they shut down the bridge. And then it's going to take, for example, our nurse. It's going to take her, 45 minutes to get around to see a member on the other side, and sometimes that's too long. So our fight to connect the north and south side will not end until we can walk and drive from one side to the other, so family can connect safely every single day. And then maybe one day, eventually, like this is my dream, of having our own school on the reserve. The GDG relationships we built with the city and Prince George continue to be enhanced. We work collaboratively, meet regularly, and discover new opportunities and pathways to work together in our shared common interests. That work will continue with other communities like UNBC, CNC, Northern Health, and many corporate partners who know that doing business here means honoring and respecting Clayton T'enneh's people, our lands, our water, and our air. Our protection of our rights, despite government overlooking the fundamental changes to those rights, they will not waver. And speaking of which, another positive, I want to recognize all of our council members. We're all here today, and we're supportive, and we're all fighting for our nation. Can you give our council members a hand, please? They're doing a great job. Members can take pride knowing that our team is united in delivering the best outcomes for each and every one of you. As is shown in our growth and the position in the future of the BC and Canada's economy, we have been invited to speak at many conferences, including Clean Energy Conference, Critical Minerals, and lots of other conferences, and to provide the opening for the BC Natural Resources Forum here a few weeks ago. Included with that, we hosted many private meetings with the government officials, regulators, decision makers, and project proponents. That included a private breakfast meeting here with the Premier and Cabinet's Minister right here in our hall. So that's pretty impressive for them to come over. Another positive. As we move forward, I'm excited for all of you here from our council here today, the administration team, and as we are a team, and it takes our team to move forward. No one can do this alone. So it's hats off to our administration and to our council all working well together. We all have an opportunity to create a better future. Thank you for attending here today, and participation is what we work hard for and worth. More positives. We have members that have just finished the heavy equipment operator training and more members going there. We have members that have gotten a learner's license this year, and some of them have got their class 5. Our hatchery is under construction soon, and we have their fisheries teams that have been doing a lot of training, and there's so much more positives. And today is a day of positivity, and it's positive for, I have to let you know, Mr. Barry Seymour, who was wrangled in yesterday. Day before. Even though I found out he was on the agenda for quite a while. But we were just reached out to him a couple days ago to ask him if he'd do the MCing because he does an amazing job. So another positive, Mr. Barry Seymour was here to do the MC and accepted it. So Masi, I hope everyone enjoys their day.
So which sponsors?
Who wants to go first? Mike? Miranda.
Okay, which council member is first? Doug? Yeah, come here.
Hari Bandara Hunzu, hello, good morning. I know there's still many band members that don't know who I am, so I'll just quickly introduce myself or reintroduce myself. My name is Miranda Seymour. I'm proud to be a daughter of Laura, sitting at the front, Mom. And very proud to be a granddaughter of the late Mary Gucci and a great-granddaughter of the late Lizette Seymour. So similar to Chief, thank you, Chief, for your remarks. Just want to recognize Elder Veronica Seymour for opening us up in a good way, for Barry being the MC, Kim for your opening remarks and grounding us, and the cast stand drummers. And then just hello and welcome virtually to those of our community members and family and friends that are joining us online. And also just acknowledge my fellow councillor members here in the room. We've been we're sitting at the council table and working together for about 10 months now, and just learning a lot from you all. So Masicho. And then all of our staff that are here today, thank you for all your hard work today and year round, and welcome and hello everyone in the room. Thank you for giving up your Valentine's Day, and it's a long weekend as well. So I might have a few too many updates, so I'm going to try to go through them quick, and if I'm too long, then cut me off. But I tried to focus on things that I was directly involved in. So if I didn't attend a meeting or an engagement, it's not on my list here. And I tried not to focus too much on carryover things that might have carried over from previous chief and councils. And I split it into 3 sections. So if I was involved in something that was a direct impact to our community or members, if it was an indirect impact to our community or members, and then anytime we interacted with, so government relations. So one of the first things that I had the opportunity to be involved with when we were sworn in this past May was touring IR number 4, Sulaco, one of our smaller reserves. I was really surprised to learn that that reserve is landlocked. Many of you maybe already knew that, but it's landlocked not by our doing. It's by government design. It's surrounded by private property, crown land, government land, a rail line, and as well as water. So we don't have access to that property. I learned from Elder Les Baker that day when we were touring the area that it's actually really nice in Sulaco if you can get to it. There's hunting, trapping opportunities, berry picking, harvesting medicine. So been in communication with our lawyers just to see what we can do about that, how we can gain access to that and not at our expense. Along the same lines of touring, had the opportunity to tour the old camp trapping. We went out there with Jen Piggin was there, School District 57. It was an old facility that was used for youth in custody. It was transferred to Clately in 2023. So just exploring opportunities for partnership with SD 57, and then for our own membership, land-based learning and healing for our members. So that's a continuing ongoing. You may have seen a news article in the Prince George Citizen recently that spoke of funding from the federal government that was given to 3 local First Nations, so Taklet, Seke, and us, for $6.6 million. It came through the Crime Prevention Action Fund. So what Clately hopes to do with the money that we were given of $1.5 million from that pot of money is to reduce the risk of offending and becoming involved in criminal behavior for our youth, both on and off reserve in Prince George. And I forgot to mention, as part of council, I'm on the education portfolio with myself, Clay, Tashina, and Crystal. And also on the Justice, Elders, and Youth portfolio with myself and Tashina. So that fund of money that we've been given from the federal government is quite an interest to me with my background and with Tashina as well. So that's going to be an exciting initiative coming to our community soon. Also through the Justice portfolio, I've been involved with the Prince George Indigenous Working Group. That's through CSC, through Corrections Services Canada, and that's to review Section 84 applications. So Indigenous communities have a say in federal parolees who wish to be released into their community, and because we are an urban location, we have a say of who comes into our community. So we had our first unofficial meeting in May, but then we didn't meet officially until January. So it's quite a new committee that myself and Tashina are sitting on, and hopefully be able to be involved with that about 3 to 4 times a year, reviewing those Section 84 applications for the federal parolees who wish to be released into our community. I had the opportunity to attend a number of meetings with the school district to review their new logo. Sounds like kind of a simple thing, but I thought it was important because we have so many of our band members who are students in SD 57, and you might remember it was like a child sitting at a desk. Now it more resembles a fingerprint, and it has a salmon and forest and water. So I think it's more representative of this territory. And as Chief said, this council approved a number of new mobile homes on reserve. And that's been really exciting to see. An idea that I kind of brought forward to our chief and council, and I understand this was a practice before, was having an office in the band office for council members. Our chief, as we know, has an office in the BSO, so I just thought that it was important for council to also have a presence in the band office. three of us council members don't work for the band, so I think it would be good for us to have an office space in the band office, so we're exploring that. In terms of an indirect impact to community members that I've personally been involved with, had the opportunity to support and participate in the all-native basketball Clayton Tenay Classic tournament. Again, maybe sounds like not a big thing, but I thought it was important for bringing sport to Prince George for Clayton Tenay, or not Clayton youth, but Indigenous youth overall. As Chief mentioned, this Chief and Council purchased shares in the First Nations Bank. And that purchase of shares increases the bank's capacity for us and other First Nations to secure loans. So it's not an immediate benefit today, but over time we'll see that benefit for our community. And then had an opportunity to attend a couple conferences so far, the First Nations Leading the Way, and then the BC Natural Resources Forum, which Chief mentioned. Just wrapping up here in terms of government relations, just maintaining those positive relationships with our surrounding communities, our neighboring nations. Had the opportunity to attend a meeting with Simpcw First Nation to discuss our shared interests and how we best can work together as neighboring nations. There's many nations that border our territory, and just we're stronger together. So just wanting to get to know our neighboring nations and how we can best work together. Again, mentioned by Chief already, relationship building, attending lots of meetings with the City of Prince George, the Regional District, UNBC. We recently entered into an MOU with the Village of Valemont. And then we've had a few meetings with the Ministry of Health, Northern Health, to explore addictions and mental health treatments for the North out of the old Prince George Youth Correctional Center. We have had the opportunity to meet with a number of provincial and federal ministers. I won't go through them all, but the one that I hope materializes something hopefully soon is the Minister Kelly Green, the Minister of Emergency Management. We met her on the north side regarding the bridge. And each time we meet with different ministers, including the Premier, just really pushing and advocating for that bridge. Acknowledging that it's more than just about public safety. It's about connecting our community, our families. It's about emergency response, evacuation, safety for the other communities as well, and connecting both sides of our reserve. The fact that we have just a single access to our community is not acceptable. So just trying to move that conversation along. So I think that's it for me. It just really, I touched on things at a really high level. So if you have any questions or thoughts or anything, please come and find me. I'll be here all day, and or give me a call, send me an email. Happy to talk about anything. So Natalia, thank you for listening.
Doug? Hello, good morning. I am very grateful to be here as part of this awesome band. Am I talking loud enough? Yeah. Okay. We are a well-oiled machine right now. Everything's going far ahead. But I did want to talk about one of my portfolios, health. Before the recent events, I've already started concentrating on this. As with being a volunteer firefighter with Shell Glen, I've seen mental health move out towards our area. Mental health issues move out towards our area already. And very concerning for me. So, over the years, working at the gas station, I've seen a lot of good, though, a lot of kids coming out of their shells, which gives me nothing but pleasure. But with all this recent events and recent stuff I've seen at the fire hall, I really want to start on mental health, which I've already done. I've been going to all the meetings with the health department. I'm not really. Actually, it didn't happen on our community. It happened in the neighboring community, which is like surrounding our community. But I'm not like really at liberty to say it's kind of, but it is mental health issues that our hall has never seen before, and I'd never imagined it would spread. Sorry, I never imagined it would spread out into the country. But I didn't want to take any thunder away from our our whole crew here, because everyone is doing 110% job right now, and that business part of it is going very well. But I just wanted to address that we're going to be I'll be definitely focusing on mental health, especially after recent events. Thank you.
Thank you, Doug. Crystal. Clay's a gentleman, right?
Good morning, everyone, and happy Valentine's Day. I have to echo everybody. Masai to the Kastan drummers, as well as Elder in Training Kim Gucci, and Elder Veronica Seymour, and Barry for emceeing all the staff that is here today. Don't forget to do your rounds and check out all the programs and services that we have to offer. I made some notes. I think everything has been touched on, but so I do wear a few different hats. I'm one of 4 education portfolio holders. Again, as Miranda said, myself, Miranda, Tashina, and Clay. And for health, it's Doug and myself. With health, I do meet regularly with Jennifer, our nurse, the senior team at Northern Health, to discuss more meaningful, respectful, culturally safe approaches to serving our members. And I do all of the caucuses for the First Nations Health Authority. I vote as chief proxy. I attend all regional and sub-regional caucuses on behalf of the nation. I am part of the Indigenous Education Council with the rest of our education portfolio holders. And I am the lands chair. So for lands, there's a lot going on, as you can see. If you visit the table, there is surveys. There's both virtual as well as hard copies. And those surveys are for, I wrote this one down. This one is the land use planning. And for anybody who's not familiar, we do have the current land use plan out on the table. Just be mindful that it's our input that we are putting there. So your participation is very vital to what happens with our lands. And there is draws for that as well. There is a 250 homesteader meets draw for adults. For youth, there will be a draw for a drum. So yeah, visit the table, fill out the surveys. There are comment cards for anything else. Our EMP is hopefully in the final draft. It hasn't gone to the table quite yet. So it needs to be approved by Lands Authority, and then we can move forward with that. And for anybody who doesn't know what that is our environmental management plan. And you'll also find information at the lands table for that. And the subdivision plan is also posted there. There is post-its for anybody for any comments or concerns they might have. I have heard a couple, so make sure that you're voicing those. That's where it matters. I think Miranda kind of touched on everything that we've kind of done other than that. So I'll leave it at that. And again, I will be here as well all day. And yeah, enjoy the day, everybody. Thank you.
Okay, Clay, come on up.
Madana Udzu. Those who don't know me, I'm Clay Poutney. Sat on council a few times now. I would like to thank Elder Veer for opening up in a good way. Also, Kim and the Castan Drummers for being here, and Barry for hosting, and the great staff that's been feeding us and taking care of us here. It's always great to have it here at our hall. Let me think. 10 months it's gone by very quickly. We've done a ton of work. I know, building houses. We're looking at off-reserve housing as well now, just not on reserve, which will be amazing because we have so many people who live in town as well. Yeah, right? We're getting there. We are. It's taking a bit of time. I know you got to build societies and you got to put boards in place, but we have a very large council. It brings a lot of facets to all these things we're doing, which is amazing. So we have a lot of knowledge at the table, which is helping propel us forward very quickly. And we are adapting, moving forward. The staff and administration has been amazing. Take your time to talk to them. They're here to answer all your questions. They wealth of knowledge as well. I can't thank them enough. We've met with a lot of ministers lately, and when we're asking them for obviously money, and the government's always broke, they're telling us about different funds to access. Well, our staff has already got those funds, so they've already applied. They're already on it. So we have a lot of good people backing you guys up as membership. So it's good to be in a place where we are right now as Cladely, and a lot of other surrounding nations are looking at us. So we got to keep driving forward and help opening the doors for them as other nations open the doors for us as well. So it's just propelling to keep our people moving forward. Other than that, I can't, talk too much more about, Miranda's touched on things. The chief has touched on so many things, Crystal, Doug. So if there's any thoughts or questions, once again, you have papers at the table too. We will try to address all those. We have our AGA coming up in August. That's when a lot of the Q&A comes out there, but we do have papers at the table, so we can try to address things now. And I know time is moving along and we're already past, so I'm going to pass this off to another council member, but Sanchalia.
Thank you, Clay. Tashina? Kyle? Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. I think, as others have mentioned, that most of our council and chief have given their updates and basically touched on all of the things. So I don't have too much more to update. So the portfolios that I sit on is the education portfolio and the justice, youth, and elders portfolio. So I sit on the IEC with Crystal and have been participating in those meetings for the last 10-ish months, and I've learned a lot. And there's a lot of important work that's going on right now behind the scenes for our students and for our children, and it's been kind of an honor to sit at that table and participate in those conversations. The one thing that I would like to add on top of the other updates that I didn't hear anybody kind of update is we usually have like a tripartite meeting between Clately, Tenay, the city, and the regional district. We try to do that on a monthly basis. So all three governments in Prince George are working closely together to just make life better in Prince George for not only our members, but the community as a whole. So just recently, we did governance training and learned a lot. The one thing I do want to acknowledge is just how amazing of a team our current chief and council are. We've been working very well together, and the last 10 months, yeah, I just want to tell them how much I appreciate the patience and the sharing of knowledge, and really allowing us to settle into our roles. It's been a learning curve, a very fast one. But, you know, we have a really good team right now. I think we all work very well together. So thank you, community, for voting us all in. And something that I think Chief and Miranda had touched on, the nation-to-nation relationships that we're building right now. We've always had kind of a close relationship with SICAs. The work that we're doing to build that relationship with SIMP, but also we did also have a meeting in Lataco where a number of us actually went to Lataco and met with their staff and council there, and we're excited to kind of build that relationship as well, because they're one of our closest southern neighbors, and I think from what I've been told, one of the closest dialects to Clately for Decaf. So the only other thing that I kind of wanted to update for members is we are going to be planning our mock walk for June. So just to keep an eye out for the registration and the posters for that. And then, yeah, that I think will be our next big community gathering before our AGM in August. Oh, also we have a family night coming up on February 25th. So we look forward to seeing you guys all there. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Tashina. Kyle?
Good morning, everybody. Like everyone said in the prior to us, everything's kind of been touched on, so I took down my notes and everything else, but it's already been talked about, so I won't waste everybody's time here. But I guess that maybe the one thing that has been talked about is the House of Ancestors and our BSO office have now been ATR'd, so that's a positive. So one thing that hasn't been touched on. So it takes time, but lots of hard work from everybody, and appreciate and thank you. And so really, I guess I can just be up here and just show my gratitude to everybody. This has been a great team, a great leader. Our businesses sides are doing well. I feel proud to be here. I'm honored. It's my gratitude, my heart to the community, and I just want to thank you all, and thank the staff and administration. Thank Tandy at the daycare for keeping my son safe all the time, and so happy Valentine's Day, and I hope everybody enjoys their day. And if there's any questions for me at all, please, I'll just be sitting around here gabbing away with everybody else. So yeah, thank you so much for coming.
Oh, I guess Jamie's next. Come on up, Jamie.
Thank you.
Howdy, everybody. Jamie Bird. Thank you all for coming. Thank you, elders, for your welcoming today. Barry for emceeing, Kim, the drummers. One thing nobody's talked about is our industrial property that we've acquired. I think it's just under 40 or just over 40 acres, and the BCR site. Sorry. We also did a tour the other day of future drug treatment facility, which is really important, really needed in our community. Been working on, sorry, I'm crackling here, not used to speaking in front of all you people. We've been working on another property that's a ranch, and my idea for that is Claytley Wellness Center. So it would be a place where people are done in this drug treatment facility. It would be the next step where they could go to heal. So we're working on that one. It's in the beginning stages. Another bunch of properties we're working on is just to the east of town. There's a major government project coming up in that area, and I think it would be beneficial to the nation to acquire that land. It would bring millions and millions of dollars. So we're working on that as well. We'll see what comes of it. Oh, yeah. So Chief talked about us investing in the bank. We've bought a bank, a physical bank, the Old Credit Union on Victoria Street. So we just acquired that here recently, which was an awesome major purchase. I'm broke. Oh, that probably. The benefit of picking up these properties is that we're leasing them out to other businesses and they're paying for them. They're buying them for us. So we lost our land years ago. We're getting it back now. And the ones that took it are paying for it for us. So we've just started, and we're not stopping. We're going to continue going. Yeah, that's what I've been working on. Question from somebody? Oh, my mom wants to ask me a question.
Uh-oh.
The thought about the ranch is to kind of keep, would be the next step when they come out, so they would be away from community and kind of off on their own, but that's another thing we could look at. We also talked about in our meeting with Northern Health the other day is training. A lot of these people don't have, access to good jobs. So I brought up, and we're starting to look at training facility in trades and whatnot, being that that's my background. So I would like to see us get something in town here where we can help train into trades and all different aspects of it. So something we can look at. The question was, could we get a place in town for people coming out of treatment to kind of phase into? I think I got another one over here.
Hi, Loretta.
Hi, Loretta.
Hi. My question is, with all the stuff that's happening with our nations, like getting this bank and having the treatment center and having the city pay for it, will our nations be getting any more distribution money? Like, are you giving back to the members too, or are you guys just keeping it within the band?
That's
a positive question.
Tough question for me.
That's a positive question.
To answer, but we're just starting to purchase these things and lease them out. So I mean, the money's just starting. So we're investing in the future. There's not really, it's going to take time to get money back and pay it back. But as we pay for these things, the money that's coming in to pay for them is going to be coming to us, not to payments. You know what I mean? So we're building up our assets, and once we get through there, the money will start coming directly to us instead of paying for them.
Well, what
Does
about
that
the,
make sense?
what about the stuff that's happening now? Like, you know, like we have the center here, and then we have what else do we have? I can't remember. So, but you know, like we have these other and the timber sales, right? So you know, this is money making for our nation, but what about the people? I know that some of it goes back to
Yeah,
the
like
business.
you're talking about revenue sharing and stuff like that. So I mean, that's more of a question for finance, but if you look at the numbers that we bring in, like say if we gave every band member $1,000,
Mm-hmm.
we have 1,000 band members, do the math, that's a lot of money, like $10 million or something, I think, or a million. Is it a million? Or $10,000, it's like, that's a lot of money, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if we only make that much money, we can't give away that much money.
Well,
So we
no.
need to get to a point where we're making, say, $100 million a year, then you could share it with all the band members and have dividends, you know what I mean? We have to get there.
Yeah. Because I
Does
just,
that make sense?
well,
I'll help you.
Let Barry help.
Thank
Yeah, go ahead.
you.
Finance questions.
If you guys could hold your questions until after everybody's done their presentations. Also, when you get the mic, can you identify who you are? So, because we're recording, and so she has to write it down. Thank you, James. I believe the last one is Domo, Councillor Domo.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to my wife over there, Shirley. Actually, I even wrote some stuff down this time. Getting old, my memory's starting to go. Well, it started a long time ago. You know that, eh? I'm not gonna echo what has been said already. Most of everything that the council is doing and the chief, and we're doing good. We're on track. Obviously, we try to stay on track and work together, and I guess the thing is that we're working together. You know, that's a good thing. We're not fighting, you know, and disagreeing. Well, those things come at the table, you know, that's where we resolve our issues at the table and come to consensus in terms of what it is and where we're going to go. But I think everything is good. I too am a new councillor, so I've been here for 10 months and few days and 3 hours and 20 minutes and 15 seconds. But anyways, I sit on a portfolio. Maybe I'll just do the portfolio thing, and then what else I do for the band. I sit on a portfolio of natural resources. I sit on some of the stuff that's going on, but mostly fisheries and forestry. I'm pretty familiarized with the forestry stuff that's going on and help with that area. I don't make decisions on the forestry stuff. I'm just a portfolio holder of that. So but all that is going and moving ahead with that and going forward with it. We are talking with other companies in regards to building partnership and also buying into more wood and getting more wood so that building the company up to be one of the biggest companies in the Prince George area. Apart from everybody else, even though we started out last, and they took all the wood before we even got started, and they all went to the big companies around us and Canfor and all the rest of those people that are within our territory. But now the direction is changed on that, and now it's mostly lately Tane is taking over in a good way. Even though we were like 60 or 70 years behind them, but now we're picking up the pieces at the end of the day, and like we always said before, you can be here for a while, but you may be a big company and you're here for a while, but we're here forever. When you guys are long gone, we're going to pick up the pieces and we're going to continue with it. I'm also the fisheries manager. I was hired as a fisheries manager in 2023. I just didn't inherit this because I became a counselor. Just an understanding there, so people don't misunderstand and think I got favoritism from somebody, but I didn't. I applied for the job. Right now in fisheries, we have a lot going on in fisheries. Our crew have been doing bank river stabilization in the Willow on the Chilako. In the past years, we've done the fences. We had 2 fences, one on the Willow and one on the Chilako, but now we only have one on the Chilako. And they also do broodstock for the Quesnel hatchery so that we can build up the stocks in the Chilako River. We have the Sturgeon Project. The Sturgeon Project is run by one of our consultants, Jeff Beardsall, and community members. Just this last year we did the community fisheries for the community, and we went out fishing for the community to collect fish for the community, and also did processing and that with the community members. Community members were hired for that. We have an ongoing negotiations with DFO and building a hatchery within the Prince George area on the Nichaco, just across from the over on the north side of the Nichaco from the Cottonwood Park. So that's ongoing. With that we've been doing some training for fisheries, and we also try to encourage them to go back to school and get some information on, or not information, but get educated so that they can be part of the hatchery, and which is the hatchery is going to be long term. It's going to be long term. There's going to be long term jobs there for community members that are interested to move ahead and pursue the fisheries technician goals that they may have. We have the Upper Fraser Chinook enumeration, which is Robson Valley creeks that that we do, and we have a large numeration of Chinook salmon that go in the Upper Fraser. But right now, the target for DFO is only do the Robson Valley. When we have also the McGregor, we have the Herrick, and other creeks that are important and that hold a lot of Chinook fish. We have 22 members that work with us through the summer and through the winter, and the display. They have a display in the back over here that is. We have members over there and if they're members of the fisheries, stand up and show yourselves. Maybe you want to ask questions to them about what they do, and there's only a few of them here, but proud of them. And also we, as part of that, that's what we do, is we try to build capacity within the community so that our people are working, and hopefully one day they could have my job. You can get educated so you can take me over. My job, that is. And that's it, I guess. If you have any questions for me, I'll be willing to answer some of your questions on whatever I can. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
So that's all the council members. Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is going to be the executive director of Clayton Tenay, Tawfiq Islam. Come on up, Tawfiq.
Hadi and Bandara Hunzu, Clayton membership. It's an honor and a pleasure again to presenting you the updates as your executive director on this great day, Valentine's Day, the day we celebrate to show our affection to each other. Let's say, I love you. I love you, Clayton membership. I love you, Clayton. All in person and online participating membership, please accept my humble gratitude. First of all, I would like to acknowledge and show my gratitude to Elder Veronica Seymour, Elder Kim Gucci, and Kastan Drama to ground us in a good way. I respectfully acknowledge that we have gathered today in the heart of traditional territory of Clayton at House of Ancestors, which has been added to the reserve land. This is a reserve land now. I sincerely extend my respect to Clayton elders whose guidance, whose prayer always move us all together forward. Your wisdom, guidance, and knowledge continue to shape the nation, our governance, and our path forward. We are grateful for your presence and your ongoing guidance to carry out our day-to-day activities to achieve our common goal. Masicho. First of all, I would like to acknowledge the dedication of our staff, elected officials, and community partners who work every day to advance the priorities of the nation. Their commitment continues to strengthen our operations, improve services, and move our nation forward towards the common goal. Today, our finance department, together with our auditor, Doan Grant Thornton, will be providing a comprehensive financial presentation. They will walk you through the financial information directly, and we welcome and encourage you all to ask questions to following their presentation. In a recent finance presentation to council, displayed that Clayton net worth growth from $76 million to $94 million, over the past 1 year. That is a straight 23% growth, very rarely seen. This information provides an outstanding and robust growth for the nation. Economic growth creates opportunities and for continued economic advancement. Our focus extends beyond the future economic growth alone. We have strategically decided and divided our approach to economic development and to enhance membership service through infrastructure development, improved service delivery, capacity building, and low risk, high return investment that generates sustainable financial assets for future generation. So not only the future growth, we are serving the membership in some other way. So what are the way we are enhancing membership services? Investing in on and off reserve housing projects. We have procured 7 modular homes and those are ready to welcoming our membership. We are in a process to secure funding to procure 3 houses and already bought 2 housing lots in downtown Prince George. The council are in a process to develop the off-reserve housing policy, which we are presenting within next week and week after that. And once the off-reserve housing policy is approved, we're going to be in action how to develop those projects and how to build houses and bring our membership in the housing. And obviously, we'll apply for addition to the reserve. We are We are also working on 3 units of 4plex, total 12 units, as my fellow council member already mentioned, which will cost us $7.1 million. Out of that, ISK has funded $2.4 million. And we are working on with CMEC and another new funding project that is called Build Canada Home to secure another $3 million to fund that project. We have started working the phase 3 of the subdivision in the north side. So means like, so we have something in place now and we are planning for next year and year after that. Our goal is to every year we're going to bring something for the housing projects. So we need subdivision projects. That is what our capital projects departments are doing. And it's a great news that our Director of Capital Project and Asset Management, Jawad, met with ISK yesterday in the morning in Vancouver. And he has some great news that pretty soon we're going to share with the membership that we're in a process to get approval of the subdivision project. And it is in acceleration way. Thank you. Thank you, Jawad. Beside that, we have been reserving a fund of $1 million to fund the major capital project infrastructure repair and maintenance, like water and sewage to line through the reserve plans. So this is a reserve. Reserve means like if we have a sudden capital expenditure that needs to be repaired so that we don't need to worry about the fund, we are making a reserve of $1 million every year to meet those capital expenditures. Investing in education department to fund post-secondary students, council has approved $1 million budget in addition to the ISK funding amounts towards the education. That means like we get ISK $350,000 a year, but council has approved another $1 million to fund our education department. That means like there will be more accessible for the student towards the higher education. And especially, we have some very exciting news. Especially, we have been getting some excellent output from our students. I haven't discussed, so I'm not allowed to say the name probably, but I can tell you that we have a student who has been studying at UNBC, now in biologist in training and has been working with our LTN Environmental Consulting. So if the student So we are very proud of that student and very, very proud. So those students, that means we were able to build such a professional. That professional is a huge value to the nation, huge value to the community itself. So enhancement of the community services. Appointment of Director of Community Services to organize the effective service delivery to all service delivery departments like health, family development, social assistance, job education, job development. So we have been growing our capacity. So we need to be ready for our new membership, capacity building. The way the administration organizational chart is designed, we are ready to welcome the new membership that we are expecting, that the administration is new to welcome the new membership and service enhancement. Creditine is also sponsoring community services activities like sports, music, and other social activities in community and in city of Prince George, in and around Prince George. So that our branding, we are an active participants all the events in our territory. Dear honorable membership, you have already know that we have been working with a Spanish partner for a wind power project located in Hickson. Clayton is the 49% partner of the project, and over the 30 years, we're going to get a expected cash return of $130 million. So that is a long term, but what we are getting in short term, the project will be operative and generate revenue from 2031, but we have already started getting financial outcome like revenue generation from LKN Environmental Consulting through environmental assessment. And we are active working with our Spanish partner to bring procurement opportunities for band-owned companies and band members-owned companies. We are also working with our partner on training and skills development so our members can participate not just in building this project, but in operating and maintaining it for decades. We are actively working on a few energy projects and are optimistic to get some good news in near future. We will share the good news as soon as it's are available. At the end of August 2025, together with Tanotine, as my fellow council member mentioned, we invested $10 million. So the question, where we are at with this $10 million. As of December 31st, out of that $10 million, the market value of share is increased and we made $500,000, which is 13.33% growth rate. Out of this growth rate, if this growth rate persistent, then within 8 years, that investment gonna be double, means $20 million. That is the real low risk, high return investment. So I am sincerely grateful and appreciation to all staff of Creditine to work so hard for the persistent growth of this nation. This kind of teamwork and team efforts towards achieving the common goal is rarely seen. Masicho, all staff of Creditine. At present, we have 67 regular employees working for the band administration. Excuse me. Working for the band administration. Out of that, 41 are Creditine band members. 5 status non-Creditine and 21 non-status employees. That means that 61.19% of our staff are Creditine members. Out of that, 5 band members are working as manager and there are 2 assistant managers who are co-leading the 2 departments. We are actively working on some training program to bring more credit union members in managerial level and above positions. We are also put systematic plan in process to bring more membership to work for the credit union administration. So membership, I have a humble request. When you see a job posting, please encourage youth to join. Please encourage youth to come to the administration. I have a long-term plan that the credit union youth gonna take the leadership of the administration, and this is the time. So every year they join in the administration. Eventually, within a few years, they're gonna see their improvement. We're gonna give them education. We're gonna give them proper training, and let's target in 5 years. You want to see a credit union member for the executive director of credit union, something like that. So a Canada labor standard audit has been conducted during January by the Labor Board. The audit team was extensively expressed their satisfaction to see our practice to comply the Canadian Human Resource Standard, along with a few suggestions of minor updates. They are very happy that we are maintaining the Canadian Human Resource Code. In 2025-26 fiscal year, the Engineering and Operation Division has secured 16.1 million of total funding with a 52% grant approval rate, demonstrating both technical excellence and effectively advocacy. Thank you, Jawad, Ashikin, and your team. Through careful project management, we also saved 1 million on the Northside wastewater project. It was delivered 100% on time and on budget, which is extremely rare case in this industry. We have secured $1.7 million in design funding for the Fraser River Bridge project. My fellow council member and chief told about a little bit update on the project. So officially we can pursue when we have a design. So we got the design funding $1.7 million. When we have design, we exactly know how much money we need to build this project for this base. And that's gonna give us an extra advantage to pursue for the main construction funding for the project. The Ancient Forest Interpretive Center is 65% completed. Set to open in May as a world-class facility celebrating our land and culture and providing an opportunity of a marketplace for our artists. We have a lot of other updates from departments, including health, family development, natural resources, fisheries, thanks Domo, lands and job development. The department managers and staff are eagerly waiting to provide you the information. Kindly stop by to their table. So another information I would like to share with you, membership. 2 weeks back, council with myself, we took a training from, we took a governance training from Jamie Stradit from Gitsan Nation. And there is so many things we learned that we were not aware of. So this is a huge learning for the chief and council and for myself. And yesterday in chief and council meeting, those learning council has decided to put in place a clear separation from the governance to the administration. So the administration, without interference, the administration will exercise the policy and procedure as set by the council to the membership without any interference from the governance. Thank you so much, council. This is a step you took that is like historical step. So I will be available throughout the duration of the AGM. Please feel free to web or reach out to me if you have any question. Some copies of my speech are available in the registration. I know I have some throat issue, but my speech are there. If you would like to grab a copy from the registration, please feel free. And now I would like to take some question if you have any.
Hi, my name's Loretta. Telfik, so the question was earlier for the timber sales that are happening with BC Provincial, right? And I know they're trying to save the old growth forest, right? But there's about 9 sales that are happening, right? And the forestry company, BC Timber, said that they have a bid. So they have these companies that will bid to harvest these trees, right? So my question was, when they harvest these trees, right, is our nation, are they going to go back and help restore it? You know, because we can't just take all these trees down. And when you have a clear cut, then that's when natural disaster happens, right? And my other question was the creeks and streams. You know, that's where our fisheries, our food fish, right? Because that's where they go back and they lay, right? So when there's a natural disaster like a flood or a landslide, right? And they wipe out that area. And because they said that if the companies fail to follow through with their protocol, that they get fined. But I'm just wondering, because Claylee Tene is part of our nation, right? Like how involved are you guys for taking care of our land and our forests and the creeks and streams, right? And the sales are 1.5 million. So there's 9 of them, right? And they said that once they harvest them, and then the company who bids it, and then if we're going to train younger people or people who know how to replant, right? Because there's all these jobs after, right? And it's really sad that they have to harvest these trees, right? Because they're old forests, right? So I just want to make sure that our nation is involved with the BC Timbers, right? And that if we have the elders that will go in there and, you know, say a prayer for Mother Nature, right? Because everything has a spirit, the trees, the water, the animals. Like we're taking away from the caribou and the moose when you harvest that area, right? If we're, and I'm thinking about my grandchildren and their grandchildren, right? And I remember late Ronnie Seymour always saying, it's not about me, it's about the children that will be here after I'm gone, right? So I want to make sure that for the nation that's taking care of our forestry, right? And everything around it. So it's not just left unattended, and that the youth have an opportunity to go out there and replant these trees so that it'll come back in their generation, right? So are you guys involved with BC Timbers?
Yes. Thank you, Loretta. That's a very good question. So our administration, so the way we think, like 7 generations from now, not for today. So we have a short-term action, mid-term action, and another action down to the road to the 7th generation. So we have a very expertise of forestry department. So no opportunity go unnoticed in the province of British Columbia. What is happening here? Everything is in our radar. So including the one you mentioned. So it is in our radar. We are working on that, but it is in early stage, yet to make any comment. But once the more information available, definitely we're gonna convey you the information. it is unlisted to give a comment on that information. So I have three more in my hand, three more questions.
Just hang on 2 seconds, Tofik. We've got 2 in the audience.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name's Sonia Piggin. I've been band member since I was pretty much a baby here. For those who don't know me, and for those who are new, welcome to the community. My question has to do with the Custom Election Code project. I was initially involved in it for about 1.5 years. I was told, we had a community update that I gave in October. I created a first draft of the custom election code based on what community members were asking for, not based on what I wanted in there. There's lots of things in there that weren't what I would have done. But since then, I provided an update to Chief and Council with a recommendation that we continue to do engagement on select areas where there was a lot of division in community on what they wanted to see, areas where it was kind of around the 40, 60 or 50% mark of what people wanted. And in January, I was advised by Tofik, yourself, that I'm no longer working on the custom election code. So I would like to hear an update. Is the project continuing? And if it is, how can members be involved in it?
Thank you, Sonia. So thank you so much for the question. And I express my sincere gratefulness and gratitude for continuing the project up to this point. So Chief and Council also send their gratitude that you brought this project this far. So in January, so we got some feedback from our community member that there needs to be more engagement of membership. So they stepped back a little bit and they thought that how can we make it more efficient to engage more membership. They brought some strategy that the council member gonna go different direction. Like a team will go to the south, a team will go to the north, Vancouver, Calgary, Edmonton, to engage with more membership, to bring this. This is a huge project that we're gonna work together. So that is a project that they took. It is a few months we need to engage the membership to let them know the update and the importance of this project. And then the project will be restarted. As I mentioned in my email, that once the Chief and Council feel that that project is in a restarted phase, then if required, the Chief and Council or myself, we're going to come and come back to you and request your help again if required. So the status now is that the plan, the Chief and Council go for community engagement. That is number one. Number two, the Chief and Council, like administration is preparing a pathway how to do that logistic one and how to integrate the custom election code with that plan together. So that is the stage. Hope I could answer your question.
One more right here before you go to those, Tofik.
Right.
I hear a lot of good programs that you guys have been doing, but the one I've been wanting to ask is about the language program for Lately Tene. If there's a foundation for the language.
Thank you so much for the question. So language and culture, one of our priority as per our CCP and strategic plan. So we have a language coordinator and the project is on there and we are actively working on the project to build a capacity and planning. So how to integrate that our language and everything together to enhance that project. We have funding. So we have a long-term funding there. So it's in planning stage. So our even director is new director is working on a few items to make that project successful. But meanwhile, our coordinator can give you some more information on the language project. Thank you so much. So I got two more written questions. One is like, how does council or the band policies procedure manage conflict of interest with both staff and council? Allocation of bonuses currently, who shares and approve? Conflict of interest. So every staff member who join, they sign a conflict of interest form. And every year, every staff member has to sign the conflict of interest form. So for any procurement thing or any, we have a policy in place. That policy, the procurement policy, is strictly followed. The hiring policy is strictly followed. The hiring policy is in a, like we said, in a that way that if a department, for example, if housing department needs to hire a staff, the housing manager along with HR manager and a council member, they sit together to the interview panel. So there is no way that there is a conflict of interest can work there alone. So in council level, the conflict of interest work, they sign a, when they took oath, the oath about the conflict of interest, they signed a form to refrain themselves from any conflict of interest. And again, in council meeting, if there is something as a conflict, there is a policy in place that council member is responsible to declare that conflict of interest and step out from the meeting. So are we practicing that? Yes, we have been practicing that and it is in order. Bonus. Who approved the bonus? For staff bonus. Particularly, we had a practice previously to provide staff bonus occasionally. So last 2 years, we do not do that. The bonus we do, they are on their performance appraisal. Means annually, so everything, the good work they do, we record it. At the end of the year, when during their performance appraisal, all things are considered throughout the period, and the basis of their performance appraisal, they are being provided their increment, salary increment or something like that. So throughout the period, no bonus. Who approve it? Executive director. I do it, final approval. And I take the responsibility for that.
Just wondering about the conflict of interest piece. How is that reported out to members? Like, how is that reported out? I know you said that they declare and they step away. How do we know when that happens and what those decisions are, like what the result of those decisions are?
So, Jennifer, you are talking that if there is a situation like that, that a conflict situation for a council member and council member is stepped out and other council member together take the decision. So how do we communicate this part to the community members?
Yes.
Well, that is something we need to figure it out. The reason is like some of the decision, for example, just giving an example, say we have a business opportunity and we have a band member own business who is a council member as well. If there is an interest, it is being discussed in a in-camera session because the matter is confidential. It's not a public information yet. So if normally that council member step out, other council member took the decision together. So that decision, yet we need to figure out how we can convey those information to the membership. We need to find out a strategy.
And then you were talking about the, I guess I think it was like a bonus or something. It was a percentage of performance. Is that per individual or is that as a whole for the council? And how is that determined on, or were you talking about staff? It was really hard to hear what was being said there.
Sorry. So according to our HR policy, so there is some scoring metrics. So the HR policy says at the end of the year, the staff, they have their own performance, like they do their self-performance appraisal first, and the manager or director or like executive director who they report to, they do the employer part. So basis on the score, so say a staff got 60 to 70%, they get 4% increment. Somebody scores 70 to 80%, they get 5%, 80 to 90%, 10%, 90% above 15%. So it is individual for the staff member, not like a whole. So what is the whole bonus versus a performance appraisal? Performance appraisal, this happens annually. And whole staff bonus, it is not happening. It happens only once in a year. That is we called Christmas bonus. The band has a practice and policy to provide Christmas bonus to all its staff. Who approves this? Chief and council for all its staff, including me.
Okay, would that actually constitute a conflict of interest if chief and council are actually staff as well and making a decision on their own bonuses?
Yes. So this is something like it. I've been working for the nation for 8 years. I saw it has been in 8 years. Being a person for the compliance and so what I see the practice and what I see so this is not like that it never happened previously or like a practice has been coming down. So means like this is not a new thing that the chief and council and some of the council members, they are not staff. So together they make the decision.
I was just going to make a comment. As Tawfiq said, we recently did some governance training, learned a lot about conflicts of interest, and learned that our conflict of interest in our policies and what we agreed to is not as robust as it should be. It's kind of the just template that is commonly out there. And just for transparency, I'll let you know that I did declare a conflict of interest for myself with respect to a bonus. So I left myself out of that, and as Tawfiq said, need to figure out the best way to communicate that to the membership. So I don't know what to do right now, and I don't know the right answer, but that was my experience. So thank you.
So if you're an employee and you get a bonus, say like $4,000, and if you are a council and you get a bonus of $5,000, so then you would get a $9,000 bonus at Christmas?
No.
Okay, can we explain that?
Yes,
Thank
just
you.
one bonus. So the council, they get one bonus, not like both. So staff bonus, for example, if chief is getting $4,000 as a bonus, she is not getting $4,000 as a chief. One.
So who approves council bonuses in that case? Because it made sense when it was council approving staff bonuses, and my questions was about the conflict of interest there. Would it not be a conflict of interest for council to approve their own bonus?
Apparently, yes. Nobody can approve their own bonus. I cannot approve my own bonus. So how we take the direction as an administration, again, it is a practice from last 8 years. So we didn't see that a major change. When we see that being administrator, we see that council is asking that $15,000 bonus for each council, then it matters. So then it is our responsibility to bring it to the membership that council is asking something that we cannot do. So sometimes we need to, if we see that this is a practice from long years and council is maintaining the consistency, we are okay with that. But membership, now that council is getting a bonus and that is like $4,000 or something like that for Christmas. So there is another question. On page number 25 of financial, what does professional fees include? Professional fees include the fees of the auditor, the fees of the consultants like MNP or this came to the professional fee. Also, who is included in and what event are included in the honorarium. So we have different general ledger. One ledger is council honorarium. Each council member gets $2,500 as council honorarium. That GL says council honorarium. Chief gets $33,250 monthly honorarium. We have a GL for chief's honorarium. And for other honorarium, it is elders honorarium. The elder or the people who go for a prayer or any other honorarium we pay to the membership, their GL cover that honorarium. Am I correct?
Tawfiq, how many more do you have up there?
So I have online.
Okay, maybe after those, Loretta has one after.
Okay.
Okay.
How many units will be included in the subdivision project?
I can answer that question. So right now we have 55 applications and there is a mix of needs. About 10 applications are in 1-bedroom needs, about 15 or 17 applications are in the range of 2-bedroom needs, and about 15 or more which are 3+ bedroom needs. So we are going to include that rationale in the application itself, and we are going to ask for a mix when we apply for the subdivision. In the subdivision, we might consider a condensed unit as well, where there would be more than one unit, like a small apartment style, if ISK is going that way. In general, we would aim to get about 50 to 60 lots in application, and we will try to get as much as we can get. There is a plan posted in our website, and from that plan, the stage 3 and 4 is what we are going to apply to. I know we have short time in here. If you have any question, any suggestion, please let me know. I'm right now working in that application, and I'm aiming to shoot that application to ISK in 1 month. So I would love to hear from you. And this is the right time to let us know that what you would like to see in those applications or subdivision planning. My name is Zawad Abedin. My email address is zabedin, ABEDIN, @plaidly.ca. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jawad. We will post those information in our Facebook page. So the next question came through online. I don't have a question about financial, but I am wondering what services are currently available for our youth in terms of mental health. Do they have to counseling, etc., and how exactly we can access to that? That's a fantastic question. Yes, we have a service through our health department. We have a professional counselor. We have outsourced some other counseling program through third parties. So please reach out to our health department or directly to the Director of Community Services. So we have a program. Please reach out. What is the status of the custom election law project? I think I have answered that. And next question I got, what about the Enbridge stakeholder payouts on March 1st? What happening with that money? So the Enbridge money we got, $11 million, it basically distributed all to the member except the membership who was minor. So we created a bank account. That bank account in trust, we put how much? $2 million almost to that bank account, and every band member who turn out to the age of 18, the day of 19, the check is prepared along with the interest we earn from the bank to keep that money. For example, $15,000, we keep 4 years to that bank account to turn that young to 19 years. So that means like $15,000 plus that $15,000 earned interest this 4 year. We put together that amount, we pay out that to the youth when they turn to 19. Yes, Loretta John.
I just have a question about the land authority that Sonia was working on. How come the members weren't notified? Because like she did a really good work, and for you guys to shut it down, it's kind of frustrating because having these elections codes for our nation, for myself, okay, I'm going to speak for myself, to go forward, and then all the work she's done, and then she got laid off, and we weren't notified. I think it's just kind of really hurtful on your part, you know, and then you're going to take over the work that she's already done. You know, that's not how First Nations people work. You know, we're supposed to take care of each other. You know, and she's worked hard for her life journey. She's a lawyer, and she was doing this for our nation. And for you to scrap it, you know, it's not fair how you guys pick and choose as chief and council and say, well, that's not for the best interest of the people. You didn't even give a survey and say, well, what do the people feel like? You know, I'm confused right now because I went to the meetings in Vancouver and I answered all those questions. And I thought we were going forward. Now it's just tossed aside. It's not very nice, topic.
Sorry, I didn't. Thank you for the thing. So this is something like, obviously I see that it hurt you. I apologize for that. So we're gonna bring this back to the council. This is a answer from the council, I guess, not only from myself. So we're gonna bring it back to the council, and I'm sure a few members of our lands authority are here. And thank you so much. Miranda is here. So I'm sure that we're gonna have a discussion in council table, and lands authority we're gonna come together to answer those questions. And apology that you got hurt. So another question I got online: what is the policy on community members or non-band members living on reserve trying to pursue training through band funding? Are they approved or allowed to partake in training? Community member, please reach out to Barbelan. We have multiple programs. Please reach out Barbelan for any training. We have multiple programs for band members. Not only band members, like not only status band member, other programs too. So please reach out Barbelan. Other question? I got another question. I live on the south side and I'm very curious about who my new neighbors are. Would it be possible to have a meet and greet at the south side band office to welcome our new south side residents? Would LTN facilitate this gathering? Thank you so much, Kim. So I would like to give you a nice update. I would give it to you personally, but since the question come, it is something together. So you told me that how about we do a gathering every Wednesday in Southside band office. So just to let you know that we discussed this matter in council meeting through Family Development Department. Family Development Department kindly give their consent that they're gonna deploy their resources for bi-monthly basis. That means twice in a month. Either of twice there, you can work with Tashina. Tashina gonna provide the logistics supports, and definitely one of that program, you can invite all the Southside members to the event. Right? So another question is like, can you provide an update on the status of the court case between LTN and the city of Prince George regarding the displacement of our nation? Are you talking about the specific claim? Okay. So the specific claim was, we changed our lawyer. So the council has employed a new lawyer, recruited a new lawyer that is called Mandel and Pinder. They gave a comprehensive report to council just last evening. So council is eagerly to settle the specific claim matter in a sooner than later. So they are focusing on the specific claims together. So we are setting up a meeting with the lawyer, and hopefully we're gonna come up with this specific claims settlement sooner. Thank you.
Is there a reason why we let Malcolm go?
Oh, the lawyer, no, we didn't fire the lawyer. So it was like, Malcolm McPherson, Mike, they opened a new law company. The council decided to move with them. So that is the thing that transitioned to with Malcolm and Mike. And then council found when they moved to the new law firm, they have limited resource for the specific claim. So council found the best specific claim settlement lawyers in British Columbia. They took presentation from 4 lawyers and they hired the Mandel Pinder for the specific claim specifically. So I have a question. Will there be any consideration on building an apartment complex in Prince George that will be for Cradley or new Cradley members to live in? Carl, you talk my heart. So, our council member, they give already a presentation, and you will see me in the afternoon because our new CEO of Tanotine Enterprises, he had some emergency medical thing, family emergency, pardon me. That's why he had to be away. So I'm going to present on behalf of the Tenotino CEO. So there will be some economic development information there, but I can tell you at this moment that we bought the 879 Victoria Street, who are the past credit union building. That's a big lot. The purpose of buying that building with the lot is like there is a big vacant place there. So that time we considered that, okay, if we can lease out the building and then the rest of the place, probably it's a good place to build an apartment. And apart from that, so we bought 2 free lots in city of Prince George. So the council is developing the off-reserve housing policy. Once it is developed, we will have a clean guideline for the off-reserve housing. We are also working with the G2G, Government of British Columbia, to secure some premium land in city of Prince George limit that you can build the apartment. Yes, obviously we have the plan in place to build apartment or buy apartment. Thank you, Carl. I think that's all my question. I'll be around. Please feel free to wave me or call me. I'll answer you all the question in person. Thank you so much. Snachalia.
I'm going to give a pretty quick presentation because I know we're running behind. I have a few slides, but I think I'll just run through them fairly quickly. You might remember earlier on I mentioned that I don't work for our band. I work for the BC First Nations Justice Council. I'm a lawyer, but I'm not practicing in the traditional sense. Doing lots of things behind the scenes, research, policy, things like that. So I just want to tell you a little bit about an initiative that the BC First Nations Justice Council is doing here in Prince George. And my thanks to fellow Chief and Council for giving me a few minutes on our agenda. So very briefly, the BC First Nations Justice Council was formed in 2015. It was formed by the First Nations Leadership Council, which gathers a lot of our BC First Nations chiefs, so they have a voice for us at that table or within that organization. And it's meant to represent the 204 First Nations in BC on justice-related issues. We have the BC First Nations Justice Strategy, which guides our work. That was developed in 2020. And our mandate is to reduce the overrepresentation of Indigenous people in the criminal justice system and reduce the number of Indigenous children in care. So what I'm here to talk to you about today, I wanted to use this opportunity to talk to you for 2 reasons. The Indigenous Diversion Center, which is pictured behind me, is here in Prince George. It's on Claytley territory, so I thought it was important for our nation to know about it, both for our members and all of our band office staff. The other reason why I wanted to talk to you today is in case any of our members ever have need to access the diversion center, just would like us to be aware of it. It's on our territory. It's a service for, it's a program for Indigenous people. So a couple years ago, the BC First Nations Justice Council received funding to pilot a diversion program here in Prince George on Claytley territory. And so I'll just talk really quickly about it. If you have any questions, please come and find me. I've set up a little table in the corner, so please come and visit it. I've got some materials there. My business card is there. You can email me, call me, and ask any questions. And I have a little gift bag, so I'm going to ask a skill testing question at the end. So you have to listen. To get the prize. So pictured here is the diversion center. It's down on 10th Avenue. I won't go through all these stats, but one of the reasons that Prince George was identified as a location for this pilot program is because we do have a jail here, which houses mostly Indigenous people. Over 60% self-identify as Indigenous. And over 70% of folks in custody in the northern region have mental health and substance use issues. PGRCC is overflowing with inmates. It has 198 beds, but houses over 200 people, meaning it's well over capacity, which presents a risk to inmates and staff. So the program that we're offering at the Diversion Center, again, over on 10th Avenue, is a 90-day adult program. And we will work with the participants, we call them participants, not clients, on a healing journey. And it is through 2 streams of diversion. So pre-charge diversion, and we have that relationship with the Prince George RCMP. And it is for Indigenous people who, before they're charged with a criminal offense, they can be diverted away from the criminal justice system, as well as post-release diversion. So that's for Indigenous people coming out of federal and provincial institutions. So if they've been incarcerated, and they can also self-refer themselves to our program. We have a couple of great positions within the Diversion Center. One of them is our elder, who happens to be a Clately elder, Elder Marcel Gagnon. He's worked in the justice system for a long time and has a lot of cultural knowledge, both Daketh and as well as Blackfoot. He's quite multifaceted elder, and he supports a lot of our participants through their healing journey. We have a real focus on ceremony. We know that ceremony heals and culture heals. So just trying to help those Indigenous people who have been caught up in the justice system or who are coming out of the justice system to help them with their healing. We have social workers in the center, so helping them with their goals, their spiritual, mental, physical, and emotional goals. That could include housing, education, employment, especially accessing treatment, and then supporting them in the long term. The program is meant to be done over 90 days, but our slogan or our motto in the center is "You belong here," so people can always come back, always access the center. We're really fortunate to have, again, Elder Marcel Gagnon. He has a sweat lodge on his property where our participants have been able to access that healing. So just moving along. Just quickly, I'll touch on this. This is for the pre-charge diversion. So before an Indigenous person has been charged with a criminal offense, they must be 18 years of age or older. It's an adult-only program. They have to be suspected of a criminal, meeting the eligibility criteria listed there. So mostly minor offenses, assault, break and enter, drug offenses, stolen property theft. And they must, of course, self-identify as Indigenous. I won't go through this. This is just the process of how, when an RCMP officer interacts with an Indigenous person, how they identify them to divert them away from the justice system and then to our center. This is our picture of our center, and I just really want to encourage any members, any staff to come and stop by the center. Again, it's 1475 10th Ave. I've got all the information over there. It's on our territory. It's come and check it out. There's lots of nice artwork that was done by a Clately artist. We've got the clans depicted, smudging. We have powwow drum, lots of great things in the center. And so we have the sweat lodge ceremony. We have working with the social worker on your goals. And what else? As soon as the snow starts to melt, we want to really be doing more land-based activities. So fishing, processing hides, processing meats, things like that. We have Atsu's Kitchen. Atsu is grandmother in the Clately dialect, where we're working with our participants on cooking skills, cultural cooking, canning, things like that. We really tried to ground the center in Clately with our clans, and having Elder Marcel and myself working out of the center. And the artwork. So just a snapshot of our calendar. Again, you can see we have Sweat Lodge, we have lots of cultural activities, we have guided lessons that's helping the participants identify things like anger, feelings, spirituality, things like that. So just wrapping up here, what we're really hoping to do through this diversion pilot is reduce the number of Indigenous people with a criminal record, reduce the number of incarcerated Indigenous people at PGRCC, increase community safety, safety for our whole community. That includes Prince George, an improved relationship with the RCMP. There's a complicated relationship between Indigenous people and the RCMP, but really working to try to improve that, helping our participants with their goals, employment, housing, education. And won't go through all this, but some of our successes is we soft launched in July of last year, and then officially had our grand opening in October. So we've really only been in operation for a few months. We've had over 70 referrals. That's people coming through the RCMP and coming out of federal and provincial institutions. And one of our main challenges is just connecting with our participants. Some of our participants are unhoused, so they're of no fixed address, don't have a phone number, email, anything like that. So it can be challenging to keep in communication with them, to make sure they're getting the support they need. And then just trying to address those by relationship building, creating relationships in the community so that we can try to help find our people who are needing support. So Masicho, thank you. Again, please stop by. Happy to answer any questions. And so the little gift here, my skill testing question, if you were listening, if anyone can put up their hand, do you remember the address, even the avenue that I mentioned where the center? Oh, okay. I think Felicia put her hand up. Yeah, okay. So thank you.
Thank you, Miranda. The next item on the agenda is our finance manager and auditor are going to give you a presentation on the 24-25 audited financial statement. Oh, the land use plan survey runs until March 2nd, so it hasn't closed.
So the survey, I failed to mention that the cutoff date for the survey to win the $250 meat card or the drum set is March 2nd. So we ran out of paper surveys. Thank you so much for coming by. If you didn't get a survey, it's available online at cledley.ca, and we want to hear from you. Also, if you are a staff, so long as you don't work for lands, if you are a band member that is an eligible voting band member and you work for Cledley, you are still eligible to win.
Alrighty, thanks everybody. My name is Devin Sweet. I'm a partner with Doan Grant Thornton. So we are the auditing firm for Clately today for 2025. So today I'm going to go through a fairly quick presentation of our 2025 audit report. And then this here is going to jump up here to present kind of where you're at as of December of this year. So just to start things off, we'll go through our audit report, a summary of our revenues and expenditures, have a look at the assets and liabilities of the First Nation, look at some ratios that ISC calculates each year, and then look at some year-over-year trend analysis. So first of all, our audit report. So our financial statements, what you'll see here today is a very condensed version of the financial statements. They are available, I believe, on your website. The government also presents them on their website as well. So if you need any more detail on what's presented today, there is about a 30-page document that goes through a lot of numbers. So hopefully here is a little bit easier to digest. So we're looking at numbers up to March 31st, 2025. And as part of the audit, so us as the auditors, we come in and look at the statements. So the statements are the responsibility of chief and council. So with the help of directors and management, we basically, they compile the financial statements. Chief and council ultimately approves those statements. And our responsibility as the external auditor is to provide our opinion on whether those statements present fairly. Is there anything that looks unusual or looks weird in our view? So happy to announce that this year, again, a clean audit opinion. So nothing unusual came to our attention. All the books were in very good order. Finance team has everything very well organized, documented, and all their I's are dotted and T's are crossed. So good work to the finance team this year, and chief and council as well for their role. And just one last point there. So as a First Nation, all the statements have to be provided to your funders within 120 days of year end. So March 31st being your year end, so they have to be submitted by July 29th. So this year we were submitted by that deadline, and we've also got a plan in place with finance team and council to get to meet that deadline again for this year. All right, so we'll look at revenues by type here. So it is split out into 3 different years. So the dark purple row there, so this is the Indigenous Services funding. So you can see kind of the core funding from ISC is about $3.5 million each year. 2024, there was a spike for the wastewater project. So I think there's about $5 million that they provided for the wastewater project. The next line you'll just see in 2023, kind of that teal colored line, that was the Enbridge settlement funds that Tofik spoke about earlier. So just a one-time settlement. The red pink line in the middle there, so that's all the other provincial and federal funding. So this primarily is made up of the Forest Consultation and Revenue Sharing Agreement, along with funding from DFO and various other provincial funders. The next line there, your yellow or orange line there, this is what I feel is the most important line. So you can see from 2023, it's steadily increasing. So this is your own source revenue. So meaning that it is you as a nation that are generating these funds through economic development activities, resource activities, and various other things. So this pot of money, basically, it's yours to do what you want with. So a lot of the other funding that's received, it is set aside for specific programming, but those funds, the yellow line, which you can see are just over 14 million for 2025. Those monies are to be spent at the member's discretion. And then the last line there is just some miscellaneous, which is just interest income, a few donations and different things. Sorry, just one other quick comment here. So I think like when we audit several nations across BC, and I think what we see from a broad perspective is, 10 years ago, a lot of nations were very reliant on ISC funding, DFO funding, First Nations Health Authority to run those day-to-day programs, which is still, those programs are very important. But I think what's important to highlight here is the diversification of your revenue sources. So there's more provincial funding coming in, a lot more own source revenue coming in. So when we look at a long-term perspective, just means hopefully more prosperity for for your nation going forward. So this slide I won't spend too much time on. It's just a breakdown of the total expenditures by department. So total expenditures for the year was about 16.5 million. And here just gives a breakdown of kind of where those monies were spent. So you can see government development, special events, and administration is the biggest piece there at 6.2 million. So what's included in there is basically wages for a lot of the office staff, utilities for all the buildings, repairs and maintenance for a lot of the buildings that are owned by the nation, general office costs for paper and pens and different things that flow through the nation, computers, communications, catering, all those kind of general type activities. So the number does look big, but it is a large organization, and it does take significant resources to keep everything moving forward. And the next one here just breaks it down kind of by cost category. So again, this is a kind of a brief snapshot broken into 8 or 9 different categories. If you look at the actual financial statements, I think there's probably 25 different categories line by line. So if you want more detail on what makes up all of these, there is more detail available. But again here, so wages and benefits account for about 31% of the overall expenditures of Claytlay. The red one there, other, so included in other is small equipment purchases, materials, vehicles for fuel, travel costs, catering. So again, there is a whole bunch more that are in there, but if you want kind of that further detail, it is available in the statements. And I think there is financial statements floating around too, so it should be in there. And then, sorry, I think professional fees was brought up earlier. So this, like the biggest chunk of professional fees is consultants for negotiations and different things. And then legal fees, auditor fees are all encompassed in there, but the consulting fees make up the biggest piece of that. Alrighty, so now looking at what is held by the nation at March 31st. So this is a snapshot of all the assets that are held. So about 7.3 million in cash, 23 million in short-term deposits. I think those short-term deposits, they're all guaranteed investment certificates that are earning, I believe, around 4.5% interest on that money that's sitting there. Owed by Claytlay businesses. So this is a loan between Claytlay and Tano. So Tano is continually paying that off. So within the next several years, that'll be paid off. The investment in Claytlay businesses. So this is kind of your biggest asset at the moment. So basically this is made up of Tano and their entities that are underneath Tano. So basically Tano Limited Partnership, LTN Contracting, Tano Fuel are all under that umbrella. So this is the accumulated assets that they essentially have over since they've been in business. So that accounts for about $41 million. Owed by government funders, so this is just your day-to-day receivables. So at March 31st, the band was owed just over $1 million from various funders. It would have been received in the bank account after that March 31st date. Tangible capital assets, so this is all your buildings, vehicles, infrastructure, the various projects that are ongoing for the daycare, the wastewater project, all get included in this tangible capital asset figure. And then some other assets for prepaids and different things. And then total liabilities held by Claytlay at the end of the year. So accounts payable is just your day-to-day payables for wages, utilities, different things. So in accounts payable, a lot of times we look to make sure everything is current. So if we see those payables not being paid for 30, 60, 90 days, then there's some potential cash flow issues. But all of those payables are all current and paid very frequently. So no payables kind of dragging out there. Distribution payable to minors, as Tofik mentioned before. So this is the money that's owed to currently minors that will be paid out to them when they turn 19 years of age. So in this account, each year as it earns interest, this account will grow, and then when it gets paid out, it'll come out of that account and go to the specific individual. Deferred revenue is money that the band has received, but hasn't yet spent on a specified project. So the majority of that 3.6 million is the Shelley wastewater project. So there's money received, all the work hadn't been completed. So as it gets completed, then it'll kind of come out of that pot of money and be spent on the project. Long-term debt of 620,000, so some loans for housing. And then the replacement reserve, so this is a requirement by CMHC. If there's CMHC housing within a nation, we have to set aside a reserve for specific repairs and maintenance in the future. So again, as Tofik mentioned, so for this next fiscal year, there's going to be $1 million as a separate reserve that's set aside for other capital projects of the nation. So I've got two ratios here. So one of them, the adjusted liquidity ratio, kind of looks at a current snapshot within a 1-year period. Can you continue to operate, and how well can you continue to operate with your current financial resources? And then the second one, which we'll look at, is more of a long-term. So I think I need to take these slides out of here because you guys blow it out of the water every year. This one, you're over 6 times the benchmark. So, and then the second one here is the longer term at 8 times the benchmark. So a very healthy financial picture overall. And then our income and expenditures analysis. So here you can see from 2018 up to 2025, the purple line on the top is total revenue coming in the door. Blue line on the bottom is expenses going out the door. So I think, like you can see towards the end there, it's consistently climbing since essentially 2022. From 2018 to 2022, there's a bit of growth, but really since 2022, everything's kind of taken off, and a lot of good projects ongoing. I think the important piece here too is if that purple line is above the blue line, essentially you're generating surplus for that year. So if the lines meet, basically you've spent just as much as you brought in. But you can see from 2018 all the way to 2025, the purple line is well and above the blue line. So you're accumulating surplus year over year, which you can see in your cash reserves and the term deposits. So that's just a breakdown of the cash year over year. So again, 2019, there was about 2 million in the bank. As of March 2025, over 30 million now. So an incredible growth over the last 6 years. And the last one here, so similar type graph. So this one looks at your assets and liabilities. So the purple line is your financial assets, which is your cash, short-term deposits. So that one, again, you can see a very steep increase there, up to about $75 million between your cash and short-term deposits. The blue line is your non-financial assets. So this is your tangible asset base, so all the buildings and things that are being accumulated year over year. So that one, you can see not climbing as quickly, but there's still growth there. So still acquiring new assets to kind of keep the nation moving forward. I think the most important line here is the orange line. So you can see from 2018 up to 2025, it's pretty well consistent. So while your financial assets are growing, your tangible capital assets are growing, your liabilities are essentially staying flat. So basically what it means is surplus being generated year over year for future generations and current. So I think that's all that I had. So I don't know if we want to do questions for me now or myself and Nasir together after his presentation.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks, Devon, for presenting our trends for last few years. And I'll be presenting last 9 months of this current fiscal year. I will keep it very, very short. Our fiscal year starts each April, to March. So current fiscal year from April 2025 to December 2025, we we earned $18.96 million, and we spent $15.15 million. Out of that, 9.73 was in our operating expenditures, means our all day-to-day expenditure other than the capital expenditures. And for the capital expenditures, which are basically for building the houses and other capital projects, we are taking this period, it was 5.42 million. Means we are left out with $3.81 million surplus. And again, this is unaudited statement. And we can just compare with the numbers from last fiscal year's 3 quarter. Our revenue was 17.8 million, and our total expenditure was 15.85 million, and our surplus was 1.95 million. If we compare last year fiscal year 3 quarters versus this year 3 quarters, we are in favorable of 1.86 million of surplus. And in our financial management, we really putting more stress on budgetary control. We are having our council approved budget each March, and every month we compare all the programming expenditures, and all the program managers, they are aware of their total budgeted allowance versus how much they have spent. And if there is any variation, like any program is going out of the budget, or if they need any further fund, they go and reach out to chief and council for further budget. So we are implementing our budgetary control very tightly, so that all the surplus we are seeing accumulated over year over year. This is actually a result of our each month's activity, how we are measuring and how we are controlling. So there is a column what we budgeted for this year, and our budgeted revenue was 20.15 million. Actually, we received 18.96 million. Means we are a little bit short of $1.18 million from the various funding agencies. Hopefully, we can achieve it by this February and March. And our total budgeted expenditure was 27 million, but we spent only 15 million altogether. This variance is mainly because of our capital expenditures, because capital expenditures we budget for the periods, and because of the constructions delay or plans are not going as per the plan. That's why we kind of spend less on the capital expenditure. So that's why it is showing a favorable 10.91 million. So this is the status of our financial performance of this last 3 quarters. On my next slide, this is a comparison of financial positions, which is basically our asset, liability, and equity. Our total current asset of this 9 months is 24.45 million, and our liability is 3.42. So our accumulated current asset is 21.03 million, which is this 24 million. Actually, all the current asset includes all our cash deposits and GICs. Because of the lower interest rate in GIC, we are now shifted from there. We do not invest in GIC anymore. Instead of, we made another arrangement with our operating bank. So our total current asset is now 24.45. All our liquid funds are here. and our other assets, which is coming from our business entities, is valued 44.96 million. As Devon described, that this is the biggest chunk of our asset, biggest block of our asset, which we own from our entities under the Tenotine and other business entities. And our total fixed asset as of 31st December is 30.57 million. Altogether, our net asset is 96.55 million, which is the worth of the band as of 31st December. And if we match it with the liability side, our equity is 25.75 million. Our retained earning is 66.99 million, and current year surplus is 3.8 million. So altogether 96.55 million. If we compare with the last year's 9 months, it was 75 million. So roughly our band value increased 21.09 million in last 9 months. Again, this is an unaudited statement. Definitely we'll be waiting for the year-end figures. And the next slide is about our treasury status. In bank account, we have 6.19 million, and PIA account, which is an interest earning arrangement. We do not touch this fund day-to-day basis. These are the special arrangement with the bank. We keep it for the better interest earning. That is 17.58 million. So total invested amount is 17.58 million. And so altogether, short-term and long-term deposit altogether 27.77 million. And December 2024, this balance was 26.41 million. So this year, this reserve, cash deposit, a bit short because of our investment in FNBC and investment in new housing units and other capital projects. And some major updates from finance. During January 2026, we had an interim audit. Audit team came to our office and they kind of performed their audit activities for these 9 months. And our annual audit is scheduled for May, and we are in plan to achieve that thing again, so we can submit our financial report within the time as set by the ISC and other funding agencies. So this is our audit part for budgetary control. Throughout the fiscal year, all the department budgets have been actively tracked. All the program managers are aware of their result of each month's expenditure and revenue, and they know what they're doing, and they know what expenditures to do and what expenditures to defer. And if they see any deficiency, they always seek approval from the chief and council. And budget for the next fiscal year, we are doing that activity now. All the program managers are preparing their budget, and chief and council will review and approve this budget on March 13th. And in this fiscal 9 months, we invested 5 million in FNBC, and we purchased 7 new homes for 3.5 million. That was our major capital investment in this April to December tenure. That's all from my side for this 9 months. If you have any questions, I'm here. You can reach me out. Thank you very much.
All right, so I think I've got a couple questions here online, I believe. So the first one, so professional fees are quite high, over $3 million. So I can't speak to the actual expenses. that are in there. I can say from my experience working with other nations, typically it is a very high expenditure area within the nation because of the nature of dealing with specific claims, various land claims and different things. So it does takes a team to kind of get those things moving. And a lot of times that is through professional fees. I guess on that note, so if you look in the actual audit, again, that one I think just shows as one line, professional fees. Within the actual books of the nation, it is broken down very specifically into consultants, lawyers, accountants. I can't speak for the finance team, but I'm sure they would be happy to share that information if it's valuable to membership. And then the second question here, is there a breakdown for the 6.2 million that workers get? So there is not a breakdown that we can provide by employee or in that, because it's confidential information what everyone is earning. So the only publicly available information is for elected officials. So chief and council, all of their remuneration is available again on the website. It does get published. But as far as individuals' salaries and different things, that typically doesn't get disclosed. Are we able to see a spreadsheet for the wages? Sorry, I think that one I've covered. When they're larger, or where there are large amounts going to. I don't understand how us as members, we don't know what's going on until you tell us. It's the elders that get to vote where the money goes to and how it is spent. So I think, as Nasir kind of mentioned in his previous presentation, so chief and council along with management does go through a rigorous budgeting process. So each year they'll have specific budgets for specific programs. And ultimately, so management comes up with their budget, and then chief and council reviews. If there's questions or they're unhappy with the budget, they can address those questions with management. At that point, the budget would be revised and then ultimately agreed upon. I don't know if that answers the question a bit.
I got a question, why we are not doing GICs and what is the other arrangement? So guaranteed investment is when the interest rate was low from the Bank of Canada, GIC rates was higher. So that's why we invested earlier in GIC's rate. And nowadays GIC rates are as low as 2%. In bank to bank varies, but around 2% is. But our we had one special arrangement with our bank, which is confirming a premium rate, which is bigger than GIC. That's why to earn better interest rate, we are not doing GIC. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you, guys. We're going to make an adjustment to the agenda. Lunch is ready. So we'll have lunch, and over lunch we'll do some draws. Right, Tammy? And then we'll continue after lunch with Taufik's presentation on economic development update. And then after that, we'll close the meeting. Sound like a plan? So elders first. So don't all the elders get up at once. The next item on the agenda is Taufik Islam on behalf of CEO Evan Salter And the presentation's economic development update.
Thank you so much, Barry. So before I presenting for and on behalf of Evan Salter, CEO of Tanotin Enterprises, so meanwhile I got 4 questions from membership. I'm going to answer those questions. So the first question I got, when will be the daycare be ATR'd? So our lands department has started working with the lawyer for the application process of the ATR of the daycare. So it is in progress. I got a recommendation. Can the ED please have a PowerPoint for reference when he is speaking? Yes, of course. Next time we will do that, because my speech was transitioning in different matter, and like sometimes it is mixed. So PowerPoint I prepared, then I thought that, but definitely I'll do that next time. So the next one is like, I'm reading it. I'm very happy with all the implementation coming from administration to membership. I have advocated for transparency for a long time. The Friday drop-up envelope is a great, however, I feel it is repeated information. I would have hoped to see reports from each department, housing manager, should social assistance and health. A one-page memo stating what each department is doing. A simple one-page highlight the position, include picture from housing. The good news, maybe make it in monthly or bi-weekly. I'm very proud of where our community is going. Update of use, purchase, what is the plan? Good hand. Okay, thank you. This is a comment from Loela Nom. Thank you so much, Loela. The newsletter, the process and plan is in place. So that newsletter will have department update, and we're going to include the newsletter to be mailed out and to drop up to each doorstep. So yes, we are in process, and this is a kind of a little bit capacity development. We are going there, but definitely it is in our plan that coming days we have started that the mailing part, and we're gonna provide the updated report, monthly updated report to be included in that envelope every month, and weekly you will get some notification as well. The next one is like about the board of directors of Tanotine. So the comments are, I still have issues with the leadership sitting on and setting paid as board of directors leadership should not be on the board. Is it a conflict? Why the members not allowed to sit on board? So this is a decision. So the terms of reference of the Tanotine board is telling that, as suggested there, the chief and council, they appoint the board of directors. So therefore, this question is for council members. So I'll bring your question to the council table, and with council opinion, I'm gonna with council opinion, with council answer, I'm gonna post it publicly. But for council, I cannot answer the whole question now. But I can tell that board of council appoints the board of director, council fires the board of director. Thank you. So now I'm going to present for and on behalf of Evan Salter, the CEO of Tanotine Enterprises. Unfortunately, Evan had some family emergencies and were unable to present today. He sent his sincere apology for that and regret. So I'm reading. Good morning, Tanotine members. Regarding the report and on behalf of Tanotine CEO Evan Salter, as he is away for dealing with family emergencies. Evan has hired last spring who has both business development and financial management experience with numerous indigenous organizations. He is a certified professional accountant. Since then, he and his team have been busy meeting with current and potential business and major project partners. Here are just a few of highlights from Tanotine in the past year. First, Tano joined Credit in last summer and invested $10 million to become shareholder in the First Nation Bank of Canada. Together, Tano and Cledley own 8.64% share of First Nation Bank of Canada. Next, it bought a building. Tanotine bought its own corporate building on 5th Avenue. That's a very good news right here. And next to the bowling alley for the Tanotine corporate office, where they hope to move in before the end of this month. So Tanotine is moving to their new own building. Total separation. Tano has bought 3 other commercial properties. One in 879 Victoria Street, which is under the credit union building, and they are in a process to lease that building out so that it pays its lease and all the capital cost down the period of time. Tano has also acquired 2 properties in last few months in BCR sites. Tano is also very proud to have several major projects and partners, including the Neil Sequin Wind Power Project, Enbridge Pipeline, that is Sunrise Expansion Project, and others. Evan looks forward to sharing some more details during the Credit in a AGM in early August. Tano invites everyone to take one of its new brochure, and the Tanotine booth is there, and Tabata and Lance are there. They are waiting for you to grab a brochure that says what they are doing. The other big news from Tano is that they are hosting a charity golf event on August 20, 2026. Proceeds will go towards supporting Cleditine Youth. More details about the Tano Cledley Youth Golf Charity Program will be shared in the coming months. Chief and Council have made it clear that Cleditine is open for business. It has also been clear that all new business initiatives and major projects will have to meet Cleditine land stewardship objectives and respect the culture, language, and traditional practices. Tano's mission is to create substantial community-driven opportunities that support Cleditine's long-term prosperity. Tanotine Enterprises is the place where companies and investors go to discuss new projects and business opportunities in the territory. Masicho. So, if you have any question, I can take back those questions to Evan, if you have any. Just like no question. Thank you.
Thank you, Tofik. One other item on the agenda, Chief and Council, closing remarks. Anybody, any council members want to volunteer? Oh, here she is. Chief's here. Just in time.
I was actually in the back showing off pictures of my grandbabies. Sorry. So, on behalf of Chief and Council, I'd like to thank everybody for coming here today and participating. And this is what we like to see, everyone coming together and sharing information and sharing knowledge and the positives. Another positives is my grandkids are coming here tonight, so I get to visit with them for family day. So I get a true family day. So again, thank you for coming, and everyone have safe travels home. Thank you those that are online. We really appreciate you joining and hope to see you all soon.
Yeah,